But I want to get to the highlight of the night for me. And it was Jay and Jimmy talking backstage. And Jimmy's like, "Are you back in?" And Jay says, "I don't know." And Paul Heyman's listening in on this shit. And he's like, "Something don't seem right here. Being lied to." Because the tribal chief's always watching. So we go to another backstage segment. And it's Jay outside by the production truck. And Sami Zayn rolls up. And they have this really beautiful conversation about Sami being appreciative of what Jay did by walking away from the bloodline. He said, "I did it, so can you. And I just want to have your support when I go after your cousin in his championships next Saturday at the Elimination Chamber. Because I found a way out, Jay. And this is your way out too. You just got to take that leap." Because Jay, and I thought he was going to say, "I love you, man." But he says, "Jay, I acknowledge you." And Jay was visibly emotional at this. And Sami was like, "Hey, give me some pound, man. Give me the fist bump." And Jay's like, "You got to get away with all this, Sami. We ain't got time for this. People are watching." Now, mind you, the cameras are on y'all. Roman is going to see this shit. He already did, most likely from home. But still, Jay gives dap to Sami and they part ways. I love this bromance. And I have a feeling my heart's going to be broken by the time Elimination Chamber's over next Saturday if Jay can get across the Canadian border for this show, because we know Doom is coming. But also, I do think in the midst of this, there is a path to redemption for both guys, because I think there is a reunion in our path for Jay and Sami around WrestleMania time, preferably night 2. We'll see about it. But Scott, your thoughts on this beautiful bromance between Jay and Sami that won't last too much longer, but I do believe it will be revived very soon.
Good continuation of the story. This was real good. Honestly, this could have happened right after the main event. Like you could have done the main event and did this same segment right after. I don't even know if you necessarily needed the segment after this so I don't know. I think you still could have flipped and had the main event where it deserved to be. The tag titles as the main event, and then run this after, right as the show's going off the air. Nice little cliffhanger. Oh, how's Roman going to react to that? That'd have been a nice little way to leave the show. Keila, I'm glad you mentioned the cameras, because I was also thinking, I guess Roman's not watching, his family's not watching, nobody's watching the show. Paul Heyman, I'm sure the way that dude was scowling around, he got to be watching the show in the back somewhere. He got a TV on somewhere. So it's like, come on, guys, what are we doing? But
realizing, hey, Jay, Roman will see this at some point if he's not watching it live from his man cave somewhere in Pensacola, Florida.
This is all going to end very, very tragically for the friendship of the Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and all that stuff. So, at the end of the show, Paul Heyman made it clear to Jimmy that he and Jay were to stay home and to have eyes on the show from the TV, because, that's a perspective that is needed. So eyebrow raise, whatnot. There are rumors out there about the availability of the use of at least one Uso able to make it to Canada. So that could be something. But, if you have Sami and Roman in a singles match and, it goes its natural progression and there are no Usos, and it is, Kevin Owens that makes his return after the Royal Rumble in Canada to not save Sami, but to stop the beating that Sami gets, much the same way that Sami stopped the beating for Kevin. And we go that route. That feels like the next progression of all this. And Sami wants to take down the bloodline. He gave Jay the chance to get out before he did it. Now it's all going to be pain for everybody. Although I will tell you, there was something funny about that segment. If you go back and watch it, Sami comes from an angle and then the camera turns to his shoulder and you realize it's the truck cabs that are backed up against the wall. So Sami has no way to get out from between the truck cabs. And so when Jay's like, "Oh, you better get out of here," he's like, "Yeah, I will. I'm getting out of here." And basically walking down through a dead end. And I don't know if people really caught that if they're doing it. So he's going to have to crawl underneath the truck cab to get away if he's going to continue down that path. Because
No,
Sammy's
not
magic,
at all.
but
That
he's
was a
not
nice
that
catch, Jeremy. That would have made that segment better if Jay kind of cracked at the end of it. Like, are you going to get out of here, dude? But I love them. Doom is coming, but we cannot forget a key element here. We have not seen Kevin Owens since the Royal Rumble. So we might get a happy Montreal ending with KO coming back to save Sami. You never know. That could be another reunion if the Usos cannot get into this country, and you can get into the country, I should say, in Canada, and they can do the beatdown maybe on US TV the following week. There's a way to do this to kind of give the people what they want, even though Sami won't win the championship, but they will get that big hug between KO and Sami eventually as well.
There will be an absolute riot if Kevin Owens does not appear at the pay-per-view in Canada.
Oh, Solo is going to interfere. Kevin Owens is going to come out, take Solo out, probably stun Roman Reigns. Sami will hit a hell of a kick, and it's going to be the greatest near fall ever. And the crowd is going to be on their feet, 1, 2, and when he kicks out, that place is going to be so deflated.
Ooh.
I'm calling that spot right now.
I don't know, man. I feel like you have to work the Kevin Owens Sami Zayn reunion. You know, if you have Owens stop the beating, but not like reunite, and then you have every Raw and SmackDown through Mania to really rebuild that reunification, kind of the way they did with, like you were saying, Rollins and Ambrose back in the day. That's how you're going to get people watching, because people are hooked on the Sami Zayn stuff. So you could play that out. Owens is a Raw talent. Sami's a SmackDown talent. You can just go back and forth, and pump that rating over and over again. They are going to draw this out just like they've been drawing it out the whole time.
Oh, I'm not saying they should reunite, but Kevin Owens could definitely go in there and still leave Roman with a stunner and just leave. And then you get Sami hitting his hell of a kick for that near fall.
I think to keep Sami strong, you don't have Owens come out until after the match is over.
Okay.
I think it undercuts Sami if he needs help from Owens without asking for it when he says, I'm going to take down. Like, I fully expect Sami to get his ass handed to him for at least 10 minutes until, you know, Roman makes a mistake and then we have the whole deal. But it feels like this is going to be Sami on his own until the match is over. And then the next step in the story, just like in every other match, it was the post-match is what is happening next.
I think you're probably right. My only thing with that is Sami just hasn't been presented as a winner. You know what I mean? Like by himself. And so that's why I think you need something to with Drew at the Clash. Drew is presented as a top guy, you know, somebody who could believably beat Roman. Sami, I just feel like Sami needs something to make people be like, all right, he's got a shot here.
Yeah, the wish fulfillment factor.
Yes.
Like Sami's never been positioned in that. And so the fan like support has elevated him to such a point, but there's never actually been incontrovertible evidence that Sami Zayn is wrestling at like main event level.
Right.
Like we're all wish fulfilling what we want this to be, and that's part of like we have committed ourselves to the fantasy of what the story is.
Very good points. I cannot imagine the show ending without a KO appearance. It must happen for the pop. Do I expect a full reunion? Not yet, but I don't want WWE to push it like they almost did with Ambrose and Rollins 5 years ago when they were like a week away from SummerSlam and finally they're reunited. I don't want them to miss the peak because the peak is so very important. You want to do it at the right time, and you want that maximum pop. And Montreal is one of the places when these guys are going to be universally beloved. You're going to get the biggest pop in that building. Do you dare do it there? I would, because you're not going to get a bigger pop than that.
It's got to happen. It's got to happen in time for them to advertise Roman and the Usos versus Cody, Kevin, and Sami in a 6-man match.
Yeah, that's true. That's going to happen.
That they need time for to get their ducks in a row to advertise that match and have at least a little bit of time for that match to happen.
Oh, do you dare even do that though?
Oh, you absolutely do that match.
Yeah, I think that match happens too. I agree with that. I think that match happens. I mean, that's a yes, I 100%. And but which show though? Like Raw's been pulling the ratings. Would you do it on SmackDown or Raw?
You do it on SmackDown the week before Mania, and then you have the Raw go home and the SmackDown go home.
It's asking a lot to give away a lot before WrestleMania in that matchup.
If Sami wasn't facing Roman, I would say that would be the match.
But we're getting that match,
right?
I'm not going to bet, but if I did, I would bet on that possibility.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you on that. I think that match is happening too.
It's a very sexy matchup. I might hold it off into WrestleMania Backlash. It's so big.
You could still do it there.
It's not impossible. I just think this match is way bigger with a lot of combustible elements that I wouldn't want to put on free TV before WrestleMania. I wouldn't want to do that.
They do a lot of 6-mans with the title after WrestleMania. They did it with Triple H and the Legacy too, and Orton won the title by like pinning Batista or something.
Yeah.
And Triple H was the champion.
If you did that match, if you did Cody, Kevin, and Sami versus the Bloodline, I'd have Sami lose and just completely like put everybody's confidence shaken against the Bloodline going into Mania.
We will see. I love the idea. It's definitely a risk. It's going to be a big ass rating, which I'm sure WWE is going to love. I would have it on SmackDown as well the week before WrestleMania, and we'll see where it goes. I think that is a great idea. I would prefer it to be at WrestleMania Backlash, but we'll see how it goes as we are really spicing things up heading into the heart of WrestleMania season.